A woman in her early 50s once told me, "I run 5 days a week. I've been eating salads for lunch for the last 6 months. But my belly just won't budge. What am I doing wrong?" She looked tired, frustrated. And honestly, I've heard this story far too many times. If you're over 40 and feel like your body doesn't respond as it used to, you're not alone. We grew up being told that the key to fat loss was simple. Run more, eat less, and the weight will melt off. But here's the shocker. After 40, especially after 50, that old advice doesn't just stop working. It might even backfire. Why? Because your body is changing. Your hormones are shifting. Your muscle mass is naturally declining. And most people keep chasing the wrong goal. They focus on losing weight, not losing fat while preserving muscle. So in today's video, we're going to reset the conversation. We'll talk about what works after 40 and why running alone won't get you there. Let's start with the biggest myth. Cardio is king regarding belly fat. Part 1. The big fat burning myth. The big fat burning myth. Why running isn't enough after 40. Breaking the concept that if you want to burn belly fat, you have to run a lot. Let me tell you about Steve, a 56-year-old former high school athlete. After gaining nearly 30 pounds in his 50s, he went back to what always worked for him in the past. He laced up his shoes and started running. Every morning, rain or shine, 5 miles. 6 weeks later, the scale barely moved. His belly, still there. Worse, he felt constantly drained and his knees were starting to ache. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people over 40 turn to cardio, primarily running, as their go-to fat loss strategy. And on the surface, it makes sense. Running burns calories. It gets your heart pumping. But here's the hard truth. After 40, it's not enough. As we age, we naturally lose muscle. That muscle is your metabolic engine. It helps you burn fat even at rest. And running, while great for cardiovascular health, does very little to preserve or build muscle mass. In fact, too much cardio without strength training can actually make muscle loss worse. So if you're relying on running alone to burn belly fat, it's like trying to fight a fire with a bucket full of holes. It's not sustainable, it's not efficient, and it's not how your body works anymore. So what should you do instead? Let's talk about what matters most for long-term fat loss, especially after 40. Next up, fat loss versus weight loss. What you actually want after 40. Fat loss versus weight loss. What you actually want after 40. Last year, I met Linda. She was 61, had just lost 15 pounds in under 2 months, yet she didn't feel any better. "Why do I still look soft?" she asked. "My arms are flabbier and I feel weaker than before." You see, Linda fell into a common trap that so many people over 40 don't even realize they're in. She lost weight, but much of that was water and muscle, not fat. And that's a problem. Here's the truth. The scale doesn't tell the whole story. Especially after 40, what you lose matters as much as how much. Losing fat while preserving muscle should be the goal. Muscles keep your metabolism running, support your joints, improve posture, and give your body the strength and tone you're probably after. But you often lose what your body needs most when you chase weight loss at any cost, through extreme calorie cuts or endless cardio. Fat loss is a more brilliant, more sustainable goal. It's not about being skinny, it's about being strong, energetic, and metabolically healthy for decades. And the best part? You don't need to starve or suffer to get there. So let's move on to the real game changer in making this happen. Adherence, staying consistent without burning out. Next, the real key to lasting fat loss. Adherence, not perfection. The real key to lasting fat loss. Adherence, not perfection. I once met a 47-year-old woman. She had tried keto, HIIT workouts, detox drinks, but gave up after a few weeks. She told me, "I just can't do it perfectly like the people online." That mindset is one of the biggest reasons many people over 40 struggle to lose belly fat. They believe it takes strict, all-or-nothing effort. But in reality, the key to lasting fat loss isn't perfection. It's consistency with something you can actually stick to. Think of it this way. You don't need to swim fast to cross the river. You just need to keep swimming. Slow is fine, as long as you don't stop. I once worked with a 60-year-old man who simply swapped his sugary pastries for oatmeal and boiled eggs at breakfast, and added a gentle evening walk. 3 months later, he had lost over 3 inches off his waist. No extremes, just steady changes. So instead of asking, what's the fastest method, ask yourself, what small change can I keep doing every day? And if you're wondering how to know if a habit truly suits your body after 40, we'll explore that right now. How to balance protein, cravings, and calories after 40. Most people think losing weight means eating as little as possible. But after 40, especially if you're trying to lose belly fat while staying strong and energized, starving yourself is the worst thing you can do. Let me tell you about James, a 62-year-old client of mine. He used to skip breakfast, eat a small salad for lunch, then crash in the evening and crave chips and sweets. He couldn't figure out why he wasn't losing weight. The truth? He was under-eating protein, over-restricting calories early in the day, and setting himself up for nightly cravings. Once we rebalanced his meals, adding more protein to breakfast and lunch, including healthy fats, and keeping total calories steady but satisfying, his cravings dropped, energy went up, and within a few months, his belly fat began to melt away. Here's the science. Protein helps preserve lean muscle mass, keeps you full longer, and helps control blood sugar. That's crucial after 40 when metabolism slows down and insulin sensitivity decreases. You don't need a rigid diet, but a more innovative structure. Aim for protein at every meal, stabilize your hunger, and stop the binge crash cycle that keeps so many people stuck. Next, we'll talk about exercise, why preserving muscle is more important than burning calories, and how to train smarter, not harder. The best exercise routine for over 40 fat loss. If you're over 40 and trying to lose fat, here's a truth bomb. Strength training isn't optional, it's foundational. Most people still think cardio is king when it comes to weight loss. But after 40, your body plays by new rules. Your muscle mass naturally declines, your metabolism slows, and your ability to recover isn't what it used to be. If all you're doing is jogging and skipping meals, you're probably burning muscle, not fat. Let me tell you about Tony, a 58-year-old retired firefighter. He used to run 5 miles a day. His weight stayed the same, but his belly kept growing. When we added just 2 sessions of strength training per week, simple moves like squats, rows, and push-ups, his waist dropped 2 inches in 3 months, even without running as much. Why? Because strength training preserves muscle, improves insulin sensitivity, and turns your body into a more efficient fat burner, even when resting. The takeaway? After 40, you don't need more sweat, you need more strategy. Strength comes first. It allows your body to age powerfully, not just shrink on the scale. In the next part, I'll show you how to build a routine that fits your lifestyle and energy level, without spending hours at the gym. Scarcity, triggers, and staying sane. Let's get honest for a second. Most fat loss journeys don't fail because of food or workouts. They fail because of their mindset. After 40, when your patience is thinner and your schedule tighter, the psychological side of weight loss becomes the make or break factor. Many of my patients fall into the same trap. They follow a diet that makes them feel deprived, restricted, and constantly on edge. And even if the weight comes off at first, it always returns. Why? Because living in scarcity is not sustainable. Take Karen, a 47-year-old nurse who came to me after her 5th attempt at keto. "I can't even look at bread without guilt," she said. So we did something radical. We gave her permission to eat. Slowly, we rebuilt her relationship with food. She learned her biggest trigger was emotional eating after night shifts. Everything changed once we planned balanced, satisfying meals and built-in flexibility. No more guilt, no more binge restrict cycles, just consistency. The insight? Sustainable fat loss isn't about perfection. It's about creating a system you can live with. That means identifying your triggers, building in flexibility, and protecting your mental health. In our next section, we'll look ahead to the future, how technology might finally personalize fat loss in ways that work uniquely for you, what the future holds, and what you can do right now. Let's take a quick peek into the future. Imagine a world where you could run a simple body scan and instantly receive a personal health plan built precisely for your biology. Not just calorie counts or generic steps per day goals, but a complete blueprint of what to eat, how to move, even how to sleep, based on your unique genes, metabolism, and environment. That's not science fiction. It's already being tested under the name digital twins. Right now, elite research groups and NASA are building virtual versions of real human bodies to simulate how we respond to different diets, workouts, and medications before we ever try them. But here's the truth. While that tech might be years away for the rest of us, the core idea is already useful today. You don't need a digital twin to start acting like your body is unique. You need to listen better. Track what meals energize you. Notice which workouts you actually enjoy. Observe what triggers your cravings. Reflect on what makes you feel good and what doesn't. That's the real start of personalization. So yes, the future is exciting, but you don't have to wait. You already have the best tool available, your awareness. In our final section, I'll show you how to combine all this into one decisive mindset shift. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. After 40, most of us fall into a dangerous mindset, thinking we must work harder than ever to stay the same. More workouts, more restrictions, more stress. But what if the answer wasn't doing more, but doing what matters most? I remember Mary, a 65-year-old grandmother who once told me, "I feel like juggling flaming swords. Fasting, tracking calories, cardio, lifting, and still not seeing results." What changed everything for Mary wasn't adding more. It was subtracting the noise. She focused on strength training twice weekly, eating more protein, walking daily, and honoring her sleep. Just that. In 6 months, her weight didn't just drop. Her energy, mood, and confidence soared. The lesson? You don't need to be perfect. You need to be intentional. Fat loss after 40 is not a punishment. It's a process of learning what truly moves the needle for your body, mind, and lifestyle. Cut the fluff, keep the fundamentals, trust the process. So here's your next step. Pick one small change from this video and start tomorrow. Just one. Fundamental transformation doesn't come from overhauling your life overnight. It comes from doing the right things consistently over time. And if you're wondering, could insulin resistance be the hidden reason I can't lose belly fat? In the following video, we'll uncover the signs and how to reverse them naturally.